Nearly 20 years before we moved in, the previous owners of our house had put on an addition. In order to connect the old basement to the new one, they cut through the basement foundation wall, but unfortunately in the process also cut through the sill plate. This went either unnoticed or ignored for nearly 20 years until I went looking after noting that the kitchen floor was sagging in that area. This clearly had to be fixed. First, I put a king stud on the side that wasn't sagging, then set up a temporary platform in order to jack it up to appropriate height. I then just put a king stud on that side, removed the jack, and it was pretty good. Having solved the structural problem, I was then left with the task of having to create a custom door for this decidedly non-standard door opening. I did a rough design in SketchUp, which was my modeling program of choice at the time. Sourced the lumber in New Hampshire. Did the casework. Flattened the lumber using a router jig. Cut the pieces to rough length. Did some test cuts to set up the router profile. Did some rough layout. Cut my floating tenons. Then did the profiling. And some more layout. With this design, every joint had to be coped. I tried it by hand a few times, but quickly realized I didn't want to do this for the approximately gajillion joints that were involved. Instead, I created a template using epoxy. This allowed me to quickly and consistently cope all the joints. I cut all my tenons, test fit again, did the floating tenons on the small stiles, and then test fit again. I made all the panels, and then test fit once more. I finished everything separately so as to not expose any unfinished areas due to wood movement, and then did the final assembly using drawbar pins on the tenons. I then installed the hinges, hung the door, added hardware, put on trim on the finished side of the basement, did some painting, and finished the sill. With that, I was done.